Hello, this is Darren.
And this is Paige.
And this is
Where's the Lemonade?
Where we talk about what happens when life throws you lemons.
Make some lemonade?
Maybe. Some weeks it's lemon squares.
Yeah, some weeks it's just lemons.
Yeah.
On today's episode,
Spending too much time with each other.
is there such a thing?
I think there is. Okay, I just got right off the hot press from our research department this topic this week.
Yeah, you literally saw this about 30 seconds ago.
So I think I'm taking it as a hint, which is, I think Paige is tired of me being around the house all the time.
Okay, so March 2020, let's go back.
March 13th, Friday the 13th,
2020.
2020, it happened.
Life was forever altered in many people's lives. Like forever.
Like forever.
And everybody had to stay at home, and businesses closed down, and schools shut down, and it was a new reality for a lot of us. Kids at home, adults at home, adult kids at home, everyone at home, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I would say for the first while, it was like, sweet, we're together, we're playing games, this is so fun, family togetherness, which I actually did enjoy a lot of that.
In fact, I was just talking to a colleague yesterday, and we both said we kind of missed the beginning of COVID. That was kind of a exciting, nervous time, but families got close together.
It is true.
So what's wrong with that?
Well, as time went by and the kids went back to school and some things went back to normal, a lot of parents or adults continued to work from home.
Right, which is the case for me.
Yes, and probably the majority of the people that we know now, they're both at home now. Both the husband and wife are home. All day, every day. All day, every day. Did I mention that?
This is interesting because is this a precursor to what it's going to be like when we retire? Because we'll be home all day, every day.
Yes, we will. So it was a topic out there, not just me that wanted to talk about it.
So here's a warning to all of our friends. Your wives are sick and tired of you being around the house. That's what I'm hearing.
Maybe. I don't know. So first of all, there are so many good things about two parents being at home. There are so many good things. I mean, when the kids are napping, one person can stay at home while another person runs errands. And I mean, you can both be there to help take care of the kids and help run errands, and right? Like, there's a lot of good things about being home together. But there are also some things that might not be great about being at home together. Sometimes I think your roles get a little confusing because you're both at home, and you might need to be more clear about that. Seeing each other every single day, all day and all night, might get on some people's nerves. I'm not saying that it's happening to me.
She brought this topic up right before she's going and taking care of the grandkids for a week without me. So, all right. So, I another thing that just popped into my mind about this is, if you were a stay-at-home parent, stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, whatever.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden your spouse is now staying home as well. I'm kind of encroaching in your workspace.
Absolutely. I mean, consider if you were at the office and all of a sudden your spouse
shows
up and is like, well, I'm here with you every single day watching what you're doing. What you doing?
So you think I spend my whole day just watching what you're doing?
Yes, I think you have cameras all over this house.
Well, I actually do.
Not inside, just outside. But no, I think that it can be a challenge when, like I said, when you're not used to, you go to work and maybe I go to work, whatever the situation was. In our situation, I was at home, you went to work, and a lot of our friends were that way. One was at home and one was at work, and now they are both at home. And I think most of our friends would say that they enjoy it, that they're happy about it. But I also think that there are definite things that you're just like, ooh, it's a lot. Like being together. Yeah, you're kind of just like infringing on...
in your space. Well, space, it is your workspace. In our case, the home this is your household to run.
Right.
Right?
Well, I also work from home and,
So, I mean, this is your work, and you're right. I'm here now. It's very difficult. So, let's talk about some of the pitfalls that we run into, if that makes sense.
Yes. We're going to talk about how to cope with spending so much time together. Okay.
Well, I thought we were going to talk financial, like spending. How to cope with spending.
With spending? What do you mean?
Well, you said spending. I thought you meant money.
Oh my gosh. Really?
No.
You did not.
I did not.
I'm like, what? Are we going out to lunch too often because you're home?
Well, that did increase, didn't it?
No. I actually think that we go out to lunch less.
Oh, well, you
home.
and I, yes. But no,
I.
But you go out with your girlfriends more often now that I'm at home.
More? You think more often?
I think so, because I could see this because Darren's home. He could be here to take care of things if one of the kids, whatever the case may be.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I go out just as much as I did before.
Yeah.
But that could definitely be if you had little kids. Yes,
yeah, that's
I could
what I'm
see
saying.
how that. But we don't have that situation. But yes, in other situations, it might be, oh, cool, you're home, I'm out, peace out.
Yep. All right, so let's go down this list. You got this from 3 different articles?
Yeah, I kind of just created my own I picked and chose what I wanted to put on here. All right, so, I mainly used one article.
So, but these are things that you need to watch out for? Is that what?
No, how to cope.
Oh, how to cope.
How to cope.
How to cope.
How to cope. So, the first thing is don't hold grudges. So, when you're constantly together... The only way to get through the day, if you're annoyed with each other, right, is to either spill it or let it go.
What do you mean by spill it?
So either you need to talk about it, like,
hey,
this is something that has been bothering me today, and you need to talk about it. Take a minute, talk about it, or you've got to let it go. You just got to go, you know what, that's a small thing, but if you can't let it go...
Then you should talk about it.
Then
Otherwise,
you should talk about it.
You're just building up more angst during the day.
Yes, exactly. So what do you think about that?
I think that makes sense. But you also have to be careful if your spouse is working from home and when you're going to spill it.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I'm on a meeting right now. Yeah, but you're home.
Right.
It's so weird.
Yeah. And there are times where, I want to talk to you about something, but I definitely want to spill it, but I won't until you're done. Like, I'm not going to spill something right before you're about to get on a phone call. Like, that's not fair. Like, hey, I'm really upset about this. Oh, you got to get on a phone call. Like, that's not fair to anybody. So if you're going to spill it, you need to make sure that you're spilling it at the right time.
Okay.
Otherwise, let it go. And you might need to constantly remind yourself to let go of things, right? To let go of the little things. Is this really something that we need to, be upset? Do I really need to be upset about this, or can I just let it go? So,
but eventually you're going to have to address it. Otherwise, it could build up, right?
Of course, yeah.
So maybe in the evening, just as if your husband or wife were gone during the day, you don't want to, text them, I'm mad at you in the middle of the day.
Or how about the dreaded, when you get home, we need to talk.
Oh.
That's the worst.
That's the
worst. And then you're like, talk about what? What do you want to talk about? Well, I'll tell you when you get home. No, but what is it? What do you want?
Yeah, but that's even worse if they're working from home. Yeah. When you're done with work, we got to talk. Well, I'm never going to be done with work today.
Or it's just like, you're just constantly thinking about it. It's like, no, we got to talk about it right now. So yeah, that's the worst. Don't do that to your spouse. Don't just, right.
Okay, well, I think we hit that one. All right, the next one, it says here, make time for each other.
Now, that may seem really silly, right? Because this podcast is on spending too much time together. So, but I actually really liked this one because you are spending a lot of time together, but just doing mundane things, right? You're just, you're working, you're doing laundry, you're whatever you're doing at home, you're still just doing very mundane things. So make time for each other with something fun, with quality time.
So go do something together out of the house, maybe. Even.
Yes, exactly. So maybe just take a walk around the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's get out of here. Let's go for a walk. Maybe it's, hey, do you want to play Uno for 20 minutes? Do you know what I mean? You could play a game. You could, go out to eat. Hey, today you want to go out to lunch with me?
So do something out of your normal routine.
Yes, out of your normal routine for sure. Because we are just home together a lot and, get into a routine. We know what our routine is.
Yes, it is. We know exactly what it is. We are ER fanatics now.
The second he comes down for lunch, and I'm like, when's your next meeting? Do you have time for an ER? And
yes,
he's like,
I do.
Yes, I do. We turn on ER.
So we turn on ER while we're making lunch and eating lunch? And
yes, it's very mundane.
It's very mundane.
It is very the same thing.
But you hate it when I travel.
I know, because I'm like, I wasn't able to watch ER for 3 days because you were gone.
Now, and you're going to be gone for a long time, a week.
I'm going to be gone for a week. Maybe we could...
We'll do it online together. All right, we'll get our phones out and we'll watch it. All right, we'll do that at least once.
We'll do a watch party.
A watch party. We're so
exciting.
Exciting.
As you can see, we are very, very exciting at our house.
Okay, so this goes into the next coping compromise. How are we going to compromise? Let's pick another show to binge watch for the next 3 months.
Yes. Well, yes. So,
but that's not what compromise is.
No, that's not.
What do you mean by this one?
By this one, okay. So when you're spending so much time together, there may be things that you're struggling with that your partner is doing, right? You need to talk about these things and come up with a compromise so you don't go crazy with or on each other. So maybe it's, now I'm not saying, this is just hypothetical right here.
Okay, I'm waiting to hear this one.
This is totally hypothetical.
Okay.
Not saying that this, okay, so just say that your face. I'm
on pins and needles here because
you already know what I'm going to say.
It's very hypothetical. No, I have no idea.
Well, I mean, I should say I've said this to you before. So say you feel like your spouse is checking up on you during the day, even though they aren't, right?
Yeah.
But you're downstairs. They're upstairs working, and then all of a sudden they just pop downstairs and they're like, hey, what you doing? And you're like, why do you need to know what I'm doing? Like, not that I would never answer like that because that would be rude, but maybe in my head a little bit it's going like that. Like, so,
did you ever think why I asked you that question is I have a break where you can watch an ER now?
So this all has to do with ER watching. But no, you're just coming down to make conversation to see what I'm doing because you're interested. And I take it, and I've talked to some of my friends, yeah. They feel the same way. They feel like that they're being watched over we all know that our husbands are not doing that. It is totally in our head that we're being checked up on or what you guys doing. So we have talked about this.
Yep. And
you have said, you know what? I'll stay upstairs more often. If you want me to stay upstairs until lunchtime, that's fine. Like I'm actually in an office, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm still going back to why are you girls feeling, your friends, right? All you girls, you're feeling like your husbands are checking up on you.
It's weird. It's
there's a therapist out there that's going, I know.
Well, it's because you have to remember what you already said, especially us being stay-at-home moms. So this is our domain. The house is our domain, right?
Yeah.
And it would be like we said, it would be like if I showed up at your work and I'm like, so what you doing? Oh, you're not doing anything right now. Like, it was funny. Like my friend the other day said she was busy all morning doing laundry and she went to the store and she came back and she was organizing this and she was working on some church stuff. And then she was like, oh, I'm going to turn on this show I'm going to watch for a few minutes. And then like right then her husband walked in and she was like, I swear I'm not just sitting here watching TV all day. Like,
holy cow, right? Boy, I think you have a little bit of guilt.
Yeah, maybe we feel like we shouldn't be taking 30 minutes to watch a show or something. I don't know.
That's interesting.
I don't know. It's all in our head though, because our husbands aren't making us feel that way. Like you've never made me feel that way.
I hope I'm not.
You're not. It is all in my head that, oh, he's checking up on me. But I know you're not. So, but the point is
that we have to have some compromises.
That there has to be compromise. It doesn't matter the reason I'm feeling this way. Obviously, I've got some issues. Obviously. But the point is that I do feel that way, and so that I don't get annoyed with you and you always going, whoa, I'm just down here to say hi. We did come up with a compromise. You were like, well, I don't have to come down every 30 minutes. I can stay upstairs to give you
coming down every 30
You know what I mean, though.
Yes. Even if I need a break, it doesn't necessarily mean to say, oh, let's go talk to Paige for my break.
Right. Yeah. And so whatever it is that might be going on in your home that's irritating you or that you're struggling with that your spouse is doing. You know what? One of my friends was saying their husband gets on a call and walks around the house on that call. And she's like, hello? Like,
oh, see, that's interesting.
Yeah. And, he doesn't have any clue that it's bothering her. And she's like, I don't want to sit here and listen to you on your call.
But this goes to, you need to speak up and then come up with an alternative plan.
Yes. So, can you please, if you're on a call, will you please be, in your office so it's not interrupting what I'm doing? Or I think being made to feel like maybe what you're doing doesn't matter. I'm on a call, which is obviously important, but what you're doing doesn't matter because I'm just going to walk around and do what I want. You know what I mean? So you don't want to build up those feelings of resentment. So definitely talk about it.
Right, which leads to the next point here, which is admit when you're just fed up.
Admit when you're fed up. So now this one's interesting because sometimes you're just in a bad mood, right? We wake up on the wrong side of the bed and everything the other person does gets on your nerves. It doesn't matter what they're breathing, it doesn't matter. They're getting on your nerves. So you need to let the other person know. I think that's the best thing to do, to say, you know what? I am having a bad day. So hopefully they can be a little more sensitive and not take it personally when you let them know, right? I'm having a bad day. I just want you to know that. I'm not trying to be mean or rude to you, but please, just know I'm having a bad day and maybe be a little more sensitive with me today. Right?
This one reminds me of what my mom told us. There were times when we were little kids growing up that she was fed up.
Yeah.
And she left just for a couple hours.
Right.
And just said, I need time away from this. And now with both parents in the house and we're together a lot, sometimes you go, you know what? I just need an hour or two.
See, okay, so that's actually the next one.
Oh, that's the next one.
The next one is,
well, there you go.
Time out. So admitting when you're fed up, and just saying, you know what, I'm having a bad day. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to get out, but it just means don't take it personally if I'm being rude, or if I'm trying not to be. Just know that I'm in a bad mood, and hopefully they can be a little more sensitive. Time out.
So timeouts are good.
Is kind of what you said that your mom was doing, that she said, you know what? I just need to be gone. Or
if I was raising my siblings and myself, I'd have a lot of timeouts.
So be honest if you need some time alone. Don't just be grumpy about it, and don't just, say, you know what? I'm going to go for a walk by myself, or I'm going to go play pickleball with my friends, or I'm going to go to lunch, or I'm just going to go in my bedroom and shut the door and read a book, or I'm going to go in my bedroom and watch a show that I want to watch without anyone's comment. Whatever it might be, you might just need a minute, and you probably aren't going to get that every day. We have to be realistic, especially if you have kids at home, right?
So when does this separating yourself, the timeout, when does this become not a good thing? I mean, how much of, if you're on timeout all day, every day, That obviously is not good, right?
That is obviously not good. And that's when your spouse is going to have to come to you and say, okay, I'm here to support you.
You can't have a timeout for the next 5 years.
Right.
That's just not.
So let's figure out how we can make things better around the house so that you don't need a timeout every single day, right? Like that's when you come up with compromises. How can we make things better so that you don't feel like you need a timeout every day? So absence makes the heart grow fonder, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I would say the times that you are gone, I'm always very excited when you come back home. I get butterflies in my stomach. Like, I think there is something to be said for a little time apart. So I'm going to be gone for a whole week.
I don't know how we're going to handle this.
I know, a whole week.
Yeah, it's been a long time since you've been gone that long.
Yeah, so these were just a few tips on how to cope on spending a lot of time together. Send us any tips that you guys have on how you guys are getting through spending a lot of time together.
Okay, our eliminated moment of the week has to do with Paige being gone. That's the lemons. Paige is gone this last week. We actually recorded our last podcast right before she left. And when she's been gone, I've been home alone. And that's really kind of a bummer, right? But the lemonade out of it, and Paige knows this, anytime she leaves, I'm like beside myself. I don't know what to do with my extra time. No one to hang out with, no one to have fun with. So I'm working on projects and I got paint all over me. It's because I'm redoing the laundry room. But don't tell her. Shh, don't tell her how much I've gotten done. It'll be a surprise for her when she comes back tomorrow, which is the same day that this is going to be released. So no one tell her. She gets home tomorrow night. No one tell her. No one call her and tell her, hey, Darren's doing crazy things in the laundry room. It's a surprise. So that's our lemonade moment of the week. I hope you guys have a great week.
If you like today's episode,
give us 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, Google.
And head to Facebook and like us.
And check out our blog at where'sthelemonade.org,
where you can leave questions and comments.
But most of all,
go out and make some lemonade.
You betcha, baby.